We're busy with the series, Keys for Building Healthy Relationships. The next key that will truly unlock everything is what we call decision making. You need to know how to deploy decision making in an effective way in your relationship. So I'm going to be asking a few questions, and I'm going to ask you to apportion a percentage to it. So I'm going to say, here's a question, and I'm going to say, is it a 50-50, or is it a 90-10, or is it a 10-90? In other words, is it 90% the male's sort of field of decision, or is it the woman's field of decision? Let's see. Okay, here's one. The choice of a new car. Is that a 50-50? Or is there maybe a better, more effective way? Well, I would believe that when it comes to the choice of a car, that men, generally speaking, know a little bit more about cars. So I'm going to go more with 70% the husband and 30% the wife. Why? Because surely she can choose the color and the size of what she wants to drive, but the husband has got the experience to know what kind of car is safe, what kind of car is not high maintenance, etc. Unless, of course, it did happen to me a while ago that the woman that was sitting in front of me was a mechanic. And I can tell you one thing, she said, 100% me. And she was right, because her partner knew nothing about cars. She was a mechanic and she knew best. And in that case, obviously, she had the choice. So that proves to you it depends on how the couple is wired and put together. But generally speaking, I'd say it's more 70%. Men would give guidance because they're more practical. Next question would be, what about the size of the home? Whose responsibility is that? Who will take the final decision on the size home that you buy? That's not a 50-50. Definitely not. In fact, I can tell you the size of the home is 90% the husband's leading. Why? He is the protector and the provider of the home. So he needs to take accountability of what he can afford. You know, the good word says, count the cost before building the building. So he needs to count the cost in terms of the size of the home, whether he can afford it or not. So please don't push him with emotions, ladies. He needs to make the decision. He must be able to live with it and make a sound business decision. Okay? Choice of furniture of the home. What would you do now? What I would believe, it swings the other way around. I would say easily this is 90% the woman's choice, because she's the heart of the home. Because why? She's got the feel, she's got the nurturing, she knows all about that. All right, that helps. Next question, what about the choice of wardrobe? Well, it says choice of wardrobe. Surely you're talking about your own wardrobe. 90% for the male, he chooses his own, and the woman chooses her own, except, of course, if the husband, for instance, is a fashion guru and he knows, then allow him to have language into your relationship to say, hey, I think that will look great on you, because he really has got the potential to help you look better. What about the choice of holiday spots in decision making? Well, that's a 50-50. It all depends on where you want to go. But maybe I'll give it a 60 to the man, because why? He's still responsible for the security of where they go to. So a little bit more to him. What about the choice of the decor of the home? What decor do we put inside of the home? Guys, the woman's choice. She's the heart of the home. So it's 100% hers, unless if the man has got a little bit of affinity towards creative. I mean, a lot of guys do flower creation, and there's nothing wrong with them. It's just an art. Well, they would have a lot of say in that case. What about a choice of mutual friends? Mutual friends? Friends are friends. You choose your own friends. Surely that's 50-50. Now, here's something I'd like to just help you understand. Guys, please don't decide for women who their friends may be or not be. Because remember, they think they've got this emotional connection. They talk to friends in a whole different way. Men are more rational. Men do things together. Women sit and talk. Men do things. That's a way different way of handling a relationship. So choice of mutual friends is 50-50. You choose your own friends. What about the choice of entertainment? I would believe that is 50-50 too. Because entertainment can be anybody. Except there comes a stage where there's a movie that is age restriction. Whose job is it to say, everybody thinks it's the dad? No, the dad is the man for discipline. The mom is the person for values. She's the one that will lead, the one to say, I don't think the kid should be exposed to this. And she must lead the husband and help the husband so that he can take leadership to say, okay, we're not watching this, or we're actually turning off the age restriction. That's what we'll do. What about choice of child rearing practices? Whose job is that to decide? It all depends on who has got the background. Because I can tell you one thing, the biggest fights because of how you raised your children and how she raised the children. There's no right and there's no wrong. It's your background. But ultimately, I would believe that the child rearing practices is more in the ambit of the woman that will understand what it takes to help govern children. However, here she needs the discipline factor from the husband. In fact, it is so important to let the husband know that he's the one that's responsible for the kids to listen to their mother, respect their mother, and also to listen to him. So the discipline factor is up to the father. What about the choice of the home menu in terms of what are we going to eat tonight? Should the man have to dictate to that? No. Jokingly, I must tell you one thing. You know what drives me crazy? Is my wife says to me, "What do you want to eat tonight?" I don't know. Just make food. That's men. So ladies, please take that burden off us. You're so much better at that because you're the heart of the home and you know. Us guys, we just want to chow down. Bottom line, okay? So what about the decision as to for what and how the money is spent? This one is easy. A lot of couples think this is a 50-50. It's actually not. The husband here has the highest say because he's responsible as the provider. So yes, don't bully your wife here. You just have the lead on this and you need to take more accountability because your authority is to God. My friend, one day when you and I get to heaven, God's going to ask this: what did you do with the woman I gave you? We are accountable. We need to take accountability and lead them lovingly, not harshly, gently and lovingly. Next decision. What about the decision in which area we should live? Which area should we live? You all got it wrong. The wife decides in which area you live because the wife will determine where she will feel safe. When it comes to the expression of love, the word storge says the love of security. If a woman doesn't want to stay in a certain area because it's close to an undesirable populace next to them, then basically she doesn't want to live there. And it is a choice to say, no, thank you. I don't want to stay there. So the choice of where you live is the wife's decision and guidance from her. And the size of how much you spend on the home, that's the husband. Decision making is that people decide what they want to do to make their relationship work. What about the choice of number of children? I think that's a 50-50. There's no right and there's no wrong. But I want to just share this testimony with you. I was very privileged to actually marry someone that was very close to me. And when I helped them with marriage preparation, the now father and husband at the time said that he wanted 4 children. And the woman said, "I don't want any children." And he went, "What? What do you mean no children? I love kids." And she said, "Well, I'm a preschool teacher. I don't want any of my own." But you know what? It's all about compromise and finding what would work for them. Today, they've got 2 beautiful children, happily married, because they use decision making as a key to build a healthy relationship.